Well, I like that. Now, I gave that clip that music to Q, so he's supposed to be doing something with that. That's just a little something I threw together real quick, like everything. What's going on? What's going on, party people? Where y'all from? I'm here popping live from good old Virginia Beach, Virginia. I know Q rolling down there in Florida, Caprinis over there in California. They popping live over there. Oh man, oh man. Oh, and it was something I wanted to get. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because it was something that I wanted to show y'all. I'm gonna have to pull. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this was something from earlier today that I did. Good evening, Shannon. Evening. I didn't get a chance to read that article you sent me, Shannon. I was going to, then I got home, started eating, talking to some other folk. I didn't get a chance to read it, so I'm gonna read it this later this evening and all that good stuff. So where is that at? Where we at? All right, so let me see if I can find something here for y'all. I got something smooth for y'all. Something I saw today on a closing, and I think, and I would have to say I know Caprinis is probably more familiar with this, was familiar with seeing this than I am. Yeah, here we go. How I want to do this here. Let's see here. I will. I'm have to do a little clip thing here. Yeah. So what's been going on, people? What's been going on? Oh man, yeah. Life is interesting. Life is interesting. Um, all right. So I clipped that. Let me put these down. Let me see how I want to do this here. How I want to do this. Open file. There we go. All right. So good to see y'all. Real happy that y'all rolling up in here. Got from Alabama. She's down there with Frank. Frank is also from Alabama. Shannon, she rolling out there in New York. Q kicking it down there in Florida. Thanks for Q for doing the graphic for me tonight. I know it was short notice for him, but he did an excellent job. My man Caprinis is rolling out there in California doing his thing. So we are just enjoying ourselves. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. My man said this has been the busiest month for him for 2024. That is excellent because, like I shared with y'all, I ran a young lady called me a couple of days ago and told me she was at 100 signings for last month. I think I was at 82, 83. It's popping, y'all. So all of these people that keep talking about loan closings are dead, loan closings are unalive. My bad, YouTube. I'm gonna tell you right now, what it is that they don't want to do what it takes to do the loan closing. They're bored of it, they're tired of it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the business is popping now in certain areas, depending on where you live. It may not be popping as much. Yeah, the fees may be a little bit lower, and the distance may be further. But every place is different, and that's the beautiful thing about this business. While you're in a slump over there, I could be popping here. While I'm in a slump here, you could be popping over there. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's going on now? CPU Courage, good to see you. Good to see you and everything. But I wanted to show y'all this real quick. This is what was on in multiple spots on a closing package that I did today. Oh, gotta add the stage. There we go. What does it say? It says let me see. Let me zoom it in. There we go. A notary public or other officer completing this certificate verifies only the identity of the individual who signed the document to which this certificate is attached, not the truthfulness accuracy or validity of that document. That is what notaries do. And anybody tell you any different, they don't know what they're talking about. That, like Caprina said, that is a California box, and that is down there out there in California. It's letting people know. It's letting the person who's putting this document together, well, not the person putting it down, the person who's signing the document, that this is the purpose of the notary. The notary is only there to verify the identity. So, in other words, don't ask me any questions about what's going on with this document. Don't ask me. Do not ask me any questions about why is it this way? Why is it that way? What's this mean? Is this correct? Accuracy or validity, the truthfulness, all of that. That is not the job of the notary. Okay. And that's across all 50 states, unless probably more likely if you're in Louisiana, you've taken special training to be able to answer that. Or if in Virginia, as the Virginia law says, you've been duly qualified and trained in that particular document. If you have that, then you can run your mouth about it. If you have not, then you need to be quiet. Now, that's just the truth of the matter. So tonight, let's see here. Let me go back here. Tonight, I wanted to briefly talk about the notary law thing. Somebody, and I meant to respond to her, and I forgot to respond to her, but somebody had asked me a question: who was the best group to be a part of, the NNA or the American Society of Notaries? And I couldn't really answer that question until I thought about it for a little bit. And the conclusion I came up with is, it depends on what you're looking for that company to do for you. Because I don't know much about the American Society of Notaries or the American Notary Society. I forget which one, how the name is, but I don't know much about them. I know a little bit more about the NNA. And what I know is that if they're not going to help me to enforce the notary laws, that's why I called it notary laws, plural, enforcement. Okay. And what I mean by that is I'm supposed to follow my state laws. I get trained from the NNA or some other notary society or organization on understanding my state law. The issue becomes when someone asks me to go against my state laws. They suggest that I do something that is not in line with my state laws. That becomes the problem, because who do I go to prove to them I'm doing right by my state laws? Who out there, as the graphic says on the thing, is it the mentor? Is it the coach? Is it the trainer? Is it the NNA? Is it the ANS? Or I think it's American Notary Society, or however it's called. Who is it? Who comes to our rescue when we're sitting here faced with somebody that's telling you, no, you should do it this way because all the other notaries do it that way? Who's out there helping us? Who's out there enforcing the notary laws when we come into a bind? Now, if y'all know somebody, tell me. And I'm not talking about, well, this group will teach you the notary law. I mean, if you call them and you ask them, will you speak to them and tell them what you just told me? I asked you, should I do this or can I do that? And you said, nope, it's against my state law. Well, can I put you on speakerphone and you tell them? Most of those organizations will tell you no, because, well, you paid us for the service and they're not paying us to talk, so we're not going to tell them. And I'm like, okay, why can't you tell them? Well, you just tell them what we said. Well, if I tell them what you said and they didn't hear from you, or they tell them and they tell me I still don't believe you, then what? And what most companies tell us, or these organizations tell us, oh, well, just stop doing work with them, don't do business with them. But if that company is like 25% of my revenue or even more, or they do a bad review on me on a platform, that can really hurt a lot of my business. The AAN, the NNA has more resources, like, right. But the question is, when you ask for help. Now, I've asked the NNA for help. I was in a closing and it was the lady had two names. We'll say Jane Williams and Jane Jones. And she only had ID for one of those names because it had been over 15 years since she used that name. We'll say Jane Jones. And they wanted her to sign Jane Williams, FKA Jane Jones, because she's married now and her name is Williams. Her name used to be Jones. Her deed was in Jones. And I was like, okay, I need proper ID. And they was like, no, you don't. No other notary needs that. So you need to just go on and sign. I said, but y'all want her to sign both names and you want me to notarize the signature of both of them, right? Well, yeah, that's what we want you to do. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I need proper ID. Well, no, you don't. You don't need ID in her other name. We don't care about her other name, but you want that name signed, her to sign it, and you want it notarized, correct? Well, yeah. Then I said, and this is where a lot of people don't understand. The notaries are there to what? Notarize signatures, not documents. Hence, let me go back to that. Let me open it back up for the people in the back. What did it say? The notary public or other officer completing the certificate verifies only the identity of the individual who is signing the document to which the certificate is attached, not the truthfulness, accuracy, or validity of that document. So if you want me to sign this document saying on this date before me came Jane Jones or Jane Williams, aka or FKA Jane Jones, and she signed both of those, and I'm verifying that both of those, and it says in the certificate, and prove through satisfactory evidence. Well, what is the satisfactory evidence that Jane Williams showed me that she's Jane Williams and Jane Jones? There is none. So that means what? According to my state law, if I don't personally know you, you don't have valid ID, then I need a credible witness or witnesses. Witness if I know the person, and witnesses if I don't know the witness that you have. I got to do it that way. That's the law. So if I can't, and this, so when I contacted the NNA and asked them, they said, no, Griff, you're right, that is correct. I said, can you tell them that? They said, no, we cannot. We can't speak to them. We can only speak to you because you're paying for our service. So I'm sitting here like, well, I almost started to say, well, can I pay you a little bit of extra so you can speak on my behalf and explain to them? Because what good does it do for you to tell me and they don't want to listen to me because they think I'm lying, because you have 1,500 other notaries who have sat there and did this and there was no issue. So when I talked to the signing company, they understood, or at least they said they understood, that what I was telling them was correct. So I'm like, okay, well, if you understand it's correct, then why is the title company trying to force me to do something that I'm not legally allowed to do and that is completely incorrect? And they didn't, and they just went radio silent on me. They're like, well, thank you. We're just gonna have to reassign this to another notary. And I'm like, so you mean you're reassigning it to a notary that would do what you want them to do, which is just sign off on it? And this is why I'm saying, who enforces the notary laws? Who is there to say, hey, the notary is not lying to you. The notary got your back, is telling you the truth. Who has our back in that? Because if the notary trainers have come out of their mouth and said, I don't teach you notary law, I don't teach you how to notarize, so I can't call on them. The notary mentor, the notary coach, they're not doing it. The notary Facebook group, they don't even know. So who can I contact to help me that's going to be somebody that the title company or even the signing company, the title company, or the lender will listen to and know that I'm not lying to them? This is where notaries are struggling at. This is where we're faced at. So let me share something else with y'all, and feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I greatly appreciate the questions and stuff. So let's go over here to our favorite little buddy, Chat GPT. Since everybody loves Chat GPT and all of that, so I asked a simple question here: what is the purpose of a notary? A notary or notary public serves several important functions, primarily aimed at preventing fraud and ensuring the integrity of legal documents. The key purpose of the notary role is verifying the identity of the signers of the document to ensure who they claim to be, ensuring the documents are signed willfully, deterrence of fraud, ensuring the documents are signed willingly and under the signer's own free will without coercion or duress, witnessing, acting as an impartial witness on the signing of important documents, certifying that the signatures on the documents are authentic and were made in their presence, record keeping, keeping records of notarizations, which can serve as evidence in legal disputes. Now, if that's the purpose of a notary, me following somebody's direction when they say, "Oh, everybody else does it," does not suffice. If I see that what you're asking me to do is incorrect, and I show you the correct thing that I'm supposed to do, but you're telling me no, I'm not going to use you anymore. How are we deterring fraud? How are we authenticating? How are we doing this right? Get what I'm saying? How are we really doing what we're supposed to be doing correctly? We're not W-2s. And the problem, in my opinion, is that a lot of these companies, a lot of these organizations treat us like we're their employees and we just need to shut up and stamp and just do what they say. And I'm like, no, we're there for a reason. You know, Shannon in that's in the chat, Shannon, she used to work for a title company. She's told me in time past that hey, that she's seen where people have lost deals. They had to compensate the people who bought a house because the notary did something wrong. Oh yeah, that's right. That's not the purpose. That's not the purpose of a signing agent. Forgot the signing agent does so much more. That is correct. So the signing agent is somebody a little bit different. The signing agent can do all of that fancy stuff. Okay. But when you get into a court of law, they're gonna look at you as a notary. So that's an excellent point, Q. So Shannon was telling me how they've had to retract deals and they go back and do audits and stuff, and they can do audits 10, 15 years from now. And if they see that, wait a minute, the notary didn't verify, check this, that, and the other, something's wrong. Case in point, I did a closing, supposed to have done it on Monday. It was Ron. It was a seller's package. The people were in France. They're French, but they had social security number, U.S. driver's license, all of that. The only issue was that they had a non-U.S. phone number, so they couldn't put dot verify, so they couldn't text their for dot verify needed them to text their ID, and they couldn't get it because it was a international cell phone number, so it wouldn't work. Now, they suggested the couple, hey, how about we text our photo to a person that we know in the US and they text it to Doc Verify to verify that our ID is valid. I was like, no. Now, could I've gotten away? We probably could have got away with that, but I said, nope. I said, let's get the credible witness and we'll reconvene on Friday. And that's what we did. We got the credible witness. We did it today because I don't want somebody auditing me down the road and say, well, how did you really verify those IDs if they had an international phone number? If people know that dot verify won't accept text from an international phone number, so how did that happen? What did y'all do? What's going on? Something's not right. And then they find out, oh, well, we did this and we circumvented that and there was no true chain of custody. No, I'm not going to do that. So I could have got away with it probably. I don't know. But I said, no, we'll just reconvene and we'll do it with the credible witness on Friday. Credible witness rolled in, boom, 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 got it done. We was probably done in 10 minutes or so. So I'd rather wait a few extra days and 10 minutes and do it right than to run the risk of somebody coming back and saying, well, yeah, that house that you sold, the deal wasn't valid because the notary didn't do stuff right. Now, did they sign it properly? Yeah. Did I notarize it properly? Yeah. But the ID verification wasn't done correctly. And if that wasn't done correctly, then guess what? The deal could be voided. You see what I'm saying? And you might not think that, but it can be. So that's the purpose of a notary, to deter fraud. So then I said, okay, well, let's look at this here. What is the purpose of notary laws? Notary laws serve several critical purposes, all aimed at ensuring the integrity, reliability, and trustworthiness of notarized documents and transactions. Here are the primary purpose of notary laws. Prevent fraud. Notary laws establish procedures and requirements that help verify the identity of signers and authenticity, you know what I'm saying, of their signatures, reducing the risk of fraudulent activities. Ensure voluntary signing. These laws ensure the documents are signed willingly and without coercion. The notary verifies that the signers understand the contents and implications of the documents they are signing. All we do is ask, do you read this, right? You understand it? Okay, good. This is why I don't think AI can take over, because AI may not be able to truly verify that a person understands and stuff. I don't know if AI can honestly do that. Standardized practices. Notary laws create a consistent framework for notarial acts, providing clear guidelines how notaries should perform their duties. This standardization helps ensure uniformity and reliability in notarizations across different jurisdictions. Meaning, you just can't go by what somebody else did. Because when somebody tells you, oh, the other notaries did, were they in my jurisdiction? Or were they in some other place? You see what I'm saying? So it has to be a standard. We got to follow things correctly. Enhance legal reliability. Documents notarized in compliance with notary laws carry a presumption of authenticity and often greater weight in legal proceedings. This reliability facilitates smoother legal and business transactions. Maintain public trust by regulating the conduct and qualifications of notaries. Notary laws help maintain public confidence in the notarization process. They ensure that notaries are impartial, competent, and acting with integrity. So, let me come back before I hit this last one. How in the world can I be acting with integrity if I'm going to base what I do off of some other notary who I don't know? When I know what they're telling me to do is not in line with the word, I'm about to say the word, that's that old preacher coming out of me. That's not in line with the state laws. Okay. If you know what you've been told to do isn't in line with what your state says, then how can the public trust us? How can they trust you? How can they trust me? This is about trust, okay? Credibility. And I'm gonna show y'all something. I got a clip that I need to show y'all about credibility, okay? If they don't believe that we are credible, then why would they listen to us? This is why notaries are having such a hard time. Why do you think they want to pay notaries less and less and less? Because we're not being credible when we say, oh, yeah, we'll drop the documents off on time. Wink, wink. Oh, I lost the documents. The lightning struck the FedEx box, and I don't know what happened to it. Lying all the time. Oh, I'll do scan backs. Oh, I did. Oh, you said I did to do scan backs. I don't remember saying that. And then you ship the documents off. Oh, you want me to go back and get that stamp that I missed? Okay, no problem. I ain't getting nothing. 2 days later, where's the doc? Oh, when did you call me? I don't remember talking to you. All this kind of stuff. Double side printing the document. All of these things. Now that's before we even get to the notarizations part, except for that one I mentioned about missing the stamp. But you got notaries out here doing all of this stuff that has eroded trust. And then on top of that, you're doing stuff illegal. You're doing stuff that's not in line with your notary laws. Okay. So, how do you expect somebody to trust you, to trust us as a group, and to be willing to pay us this high fee that everybody says we should get paid? And you're bragging about all these training you've taken, but you don't know how to follow notary laws. You have nobody to back you with notary laws. So you say, hey, well, I don't know if this is right. Let me go call somebody. You call them. They say, nope, you're correct. What they ask you to do is not right. You go back and talk to them, and they say, well, I don't believe you. Hey, can you tell them? Well, no, I can't talk to them because they didn't pay me for the service to talk to them. So is this all about making money so you can talk to somebody? Well, how much do I need to pay you in order to get you to tell me what I need to know concerning my notary laws, and for you to speak on my behalf and tell the people who are asking me to do something illegal that what they're telling me to do is wrong? How much I need to pay you? That's the question now, because I'm paying you this money and you're saying You can tell me that it's wrong, but you can't tell them that it's wrong. Now, here's the crazy part. The people who they need to tell that's wrong are the people who say they want NNA certified notaries. So the people who want me to be certified by you, you can't tell them that what they're telling me to do is wrong. The people that want me to be certified by you, you can't tell them what they're telling me is wrong. That don't make sense. That doesn't make a bit of sense whatsoever. You're only using me because I'm NNA certified. You're only using me because I have this credential. But then you're going to tell me to go against that credential, against my state laws, against the notary code of standard of conduct. And then when I ask you who wrote the standard of conduct, who I said I would follow it by getting this certification, and then when it comes time to talk to them, you won't talk to them, and all you can say is leave them alone. Don't worry about them. Go find you some business somewhere else. It don't work that way. You just can't drop these people and go find someplace else to, okay, I'm gonna go over it because they're all interconnected and they talk. Just like they're probably sitting there saying something about me now. He's starting up stuff. I'm just saying, it ain't gonna be a pretty sight when all of a sudden somebody decides to do an audit. And with all this craziness been going on for the last 3 years with notaries, I'm surprised there haven't been a bunch more audits. And me talking about it now is not going to make it all of a sudden happen. Okay. So let's get back over here to this. So the last one, it says provide legal protection. Notary laws protect both the notaries and the publics by outlining the responsibilities and limitations of a notary's role, including penalties for misconduct. This legal framework helps safeguard against misuse and abuse of notary powers. Overall, notary laws are essential for maintaining the trustworthiness and efficacy, y'all know what I'm talking about, efficacy, you know what I'm saying, of notarized documents, thereby supporting the smooth functioning of legal and commercial activities. Thumbs up. Now, you help me understand, you help me understand how doing stuff illegal, doing stuff just because I'm gonna get paid. I'm with doing stuff with because I'm doing it under duress because I'm afraid that I'm gonna get blacklisted and never make any money again in this business after spending $7,000 to be in it. What does that do for anybody? How does that help this? How does that help things out? Knowing that mortgages, the real estate industry is a huge piece of our economy. And we get out here and do this wrong, we're messing up our economy. I know everybody weren't ready to run to apostille and estate planning, but the hold on, let me ask GPT something. Percentage is the housing market of the U.S. economy. So it's saying here that the economy, that the housing, so it's saying basically roughly 17%. 17%, for instance, the national housing share gross domestic product was about 17% in 2022. That is huge. And just imagine us messing things up. We could be messing up money for a lot of we are messing up money for a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? So this figures underscores the significant role the housing market plays in the U.S. in the overall U.S. economy, impacting a wide range of sectors, including construction, finance, and retail. So there's a lot. So when you mess up stuff and people can't buy their house, that means they don't get their IKEA stuff. Construction gets messed up because now the people who borrowed money, who bought the equipment and the materials on credit, they can't get paid. All of this stuff. So the housing market matters. Okay. So if the housing market matters, then we need to make sure that what we're doing within it is correct. That's why it's important. And I understand that importance. Now, whether you understand the importance of it, that's a different story. Hopefully, you understand the importance of it after tonight. But let me play something for y'all real quick. Okay. What's up, Griff people? Good to see you there, Dorinda. Good to see you there coming out of Southern Maryland. And I know people coming into the stream at different points in time. But let me play this for y'all and let me know if y'all can hear this tonight. Y'all should be able to. Let me I always gotta double check my share thing because I be sharing stuff. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. So let me add this. So y'all listen to this here. The cost of a problem, and the end part is key. So you see that credibility. So think about it. As a notary, we supposed to have a level of credibility. When somebody is asking us to go against our notary laws, and we're out here by ourselves with this, so we don't have anybody helping us to enforce notary laws, plural. Okay, we don't have anybody. Oh, you didn't hear it? Oh man, hold on. I thought y'all heard that. Why isn't it playing? Hold on. Thank y'all. Let me check it again. Daggone it, I thought y'all heard it. Hold on. I thought y'all heard that. Whoops. Battery dying on my phone. Hold on. Battery dying. Hold all right. Daggone it. Well, what he's showing here, don't worry about it. I don't know why this thing is doing that tonight. All right. Daggone it. Well, what he's showing here, don't. So what he's showing is that basically the cost of the problem, you got to show somebody the problem. And then he's saying at the end, you're showing them why you are the solution to the problem. And it comes because you're going up against a bunch of other competitors, and it all centers on credibility. It all centers on you being credible. Okay. You got to show them that you are credible. And let me see something here. I want y'all to hear it. Daggone it. I was playing it earlier and it was working just fine. I'm serious. It was working perfect. It was working perfect, man. Technology be kicking your butt sometimes. Mm-mm-mm. All right. But don't worry. I'll figure it out. Nope. All right. Don't know why it's not playing. Not sure at all. Last week it was playing. All my stuff was playing last week, and this week it ain't. So I ain't gonna be able to play that for y'all. That no problem. No problem at all. But the whole point of it is that if you're not credible, nobody's gonna want to work with you. And for you and for me, when we go to people, we want to go to credible car dealerships. We want to go to credible restaurants. We want to go to credible auto repairs. We want to go to credible stores. Everything we do, travel agencies. Y'all been seeing the issues going on with travel agencies. People out there taking folks' money and just leaving them stranded. So it's about being credible. And we got to learn, and follow the laws. But right now, it's really on us. And this here's the thing, because I know my business has taken small hits here and there when I've stood up and said, I'm not going to do that because that's not in line with my state laws. And then I show them that it's not in line with my state laws. And then they come back and tell me, okay, well, we won't be using you no more. Or we won't be using you on those types of orders because, and they always throw it back on me because you have an issue with those kind of documents or doing this. I don't have an issue doing, if I'm allowed to, I have no issue. The issue isn't with me. The issue is that my state law tells me I'm not supposed to. And this here is the part that no one talks about in our business, but we will all face it at some point in time. The deeper and deeper we get into that, whether you're doing apostilles, estate planning, loan closings, general notary, you're going to be faced with somebody asking you to do something that is way outside of your state laws. And are you going to do it? And are you willing to risk standing on truth and losing business? Or are you going to yield to them and do what they say, but run the risk 15, 20 years from now when somebody's doing an audit and they find out you did something wrong and they decide, you know what, we got to fix this here because this was completely wrong. Because if you're doing it wrong on one, you've done it wrong on others. Or if they find out that that company has been forcing notaries to say this and to do this and to do that, it's going to come back on you. So what's more important, doing it right or just doing it the way they say do it so you can get paid? Now, and I wanted those things to play. I don't know why they are not playing. I do not know why. So any questions concerning that or anything else that I've talked about tonight or anything? Now there was somebody had asked me a question, and they was talking about when I was talking about scanning from the table. They were saying they disagree with it. I guess that they should scan from the table because of funding issues and stuff. Here's the thing about scanning from the table. I've been in houses where I want to get in and get out. I've been in houses where they want me in and out. I've been in houses where they're not going to be there that long. You know, you've been in houses where it's like, okay, well, we just here to do the closing and then we're out. I've been in houses where I was very uncomfortable because the person's daughter is running around dressed appropriate if I wasn't there. Inappropriate because I'm there, because I'm like, okay, why are you allowing your daughter to walk around with all of that showing? And then all of a sudden it's like, now why you want to be in the kitchen with mom and dad while we're conducting business? And then sit up here and look and hang on mom. I'm talking about, mature kid, and it's like, this ain't the time for you to be around your parents dressed like that. Let me get the heck up out of here and go do my scan somewhere else. The thing is, you do what's best for your business. If you're okay with doing that and being in there, and if they're okay with you being there, then you scan. But this whole concept of, well, we got to get funding done. Funding will get done. Not everybody can afford or should be forced to have a scanner and scan from the table. The scanning will get done. That should not be like, you have to do this. You better do this on every single order. I mean, the only time that I've seen where that really applies is when it comes to commercial loans. But here's the thing, with most of the scanning, for residential, non-commercial loans, most people don't even know that we're supposed to be scanning from the table. Nobody told them. So when you show up, and let's just say even if you mention it to them, they're like, okay, what do you mean? And then they see you coming in with your gear and stuff, and you pulling it up, and it's like, and then here's what the problem is: most notaries do. They go and they try to connect to their Wi-Fi. Don't be trying to connect to their Wi-Fi. So you're already holding them up, and now you want to scan, and now you talking about, oh, I need to connect to your Wi-Fi. Mm-mm. So I prefer to leave there. Like I said, I use the Proton VPN. That thing works real nice. I rather go somewhere so I can focus, not feel rushed, not feel like I'm imposing, and do my scans and then get them uploaded and all of that. It's that simple. Now you say, well, what if you make a mistake? Then pay attention to what you're doing while you're there and double, triple check your work before you leave. And then you don't have to worry about, oops, I missed this and oops, I missed that. So when I have to scan quickly, like I did yesterday when I had them six, I was like, let me double, triple check, and everything was fine. Nobody came back with, hey, something was wrong here or there. They said scans look good, drop. I was like, Roger that, drop them off. But you gotta think about the people because they might not be comfortable with you sitting in their house, especially because sometimes the signing company will tell you you need to hurry up and do scans, but the title company or the lender never told the customer, and you telling them, and they're like, "Why you got to sit up in my house longer? Why you got to be up in here? Once you do this here, we got somewhere to go." So I don't know what y'all thoughts are on it, but all I can say is each situation is different, different areas. That might be cool in New York, might not be cool down here in Virginia, might be not cool in Texas, might be okay in Kansas. You have to figure it out for yourself and then roll accordingly because the main thing is as long as you get the documents signed and notarized correctly, everything will be fine because guess what? If the funding isn't done, I mean if you don't do it correctly, then the funding can't get done anyway. So that's just what it is. So what questions do y'all have tonight? Because I know y'all always got something going on. Something pop, my man. Claude, did you ever get I meant to text you back. Did you ever get your scans straight? Because I know you were scanning some stuff and everything. So did you ever get your scans fixed and all of that? Because I know you was trying to get that done. And I meant to email. Matter of fact, I was typing up I was getting ready to type up a text to you, and then I got distracted and forgot to actually type it up and send it to you and stuff. So a quick recap. What we was talking about tonight was simply, oh, you had to go back and redo it. Yeah. Well, before I do the recap, one of the problems that you have sometimes with Adobe Scan is that if you have a bad internet connection when you first scan the IDs, what can sometimes happen is when it tries to upload, it'll get stuck, and you won't realize that it got stuck. And then you get home, and then it's like, okay, where the IDs at? You're looking on your thing on Adobe, and it's on your computer, and it's not there. And then you like, okay, well, let me shut it down, open it up, and then sometimes it'll pick back up where it left off. Sometimes it won't, and that means you got to go back and re-get those IDs again, or you can ask them to text them to you. And I've done that before. Say, hey, can you send me I had a bad internet connection and stuff sort of crashed on me. You can do that. It's up to you. But I've had that happen before. So as a quick recap, basically what I was sharing tonight was that who's out here helping us to enforce notary laws? We know there's notary laws for all 50 states and that we're supposed to operate in a particular way. The question is when somebody's asking us to backdate the document, sign stuff as if we're the closing agent saying that we verbally explain things, collect money when we're not supposed to, do certain things and say certain things and sign off on things. In other words, it's not correct in accordance with our notary law. And we know this. And that's hard when you don't know it. But if you know it's not right, who's there to back us up and tell the person, since they don't want to believe us and listen to us, that what they're asking us to do is incorrect. I haven't found anybody that can come to our rescue and tell us. In my state, they're like, hey, we can't, we out of it. Other states, you probably can't even get through because they're dealing with so many other problems. So who is there to help us out? And I haven't seen anybody. The trainer's not there. The coach, the mentor's not there. The internet can tell us what the law says, but from my personal experience, they said they're not allowed to tell the person who we are trying to communicate it to. They can't speak on our behalf and tell us what we're doing, tell them that what we told them is correct. So if the person who knows the law can't speak on my behalf, then my question is, how do I ever get them to believe me and to respect what I'm saying to them? There's no way, especially when you got other notaries who have broken the law and just did what they asked them to do, no questions asked. That becomes a huge problem. Something showing that I'm having internet connection problem. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, we back. Whew, we back. All right. Okay. Now I was just checking. So yeah, so that's where we all right said should a new hold on. Oh, let me check this out. Should a new notary have a 5-year plan or take it day by day? That is an excellent question. That is an excellent question. I would say you should have a 5-year plan. Let me put that back up there. So you should have a 5-year plan that you are working day by day. A 5-year plan that you are working each and every day. That's what you should have. So I've been in this, yeah, more than 5 years. Okay. Full time, a little more than 3 years. And when I first started, my goal was to make enough money so that I could stop doing all of my other side hustle stuff. Grubhub, Postnet, so forth and so on. I wanted to stop doing all that stuff. Then I wanted to be able to do this business full time. Then I want to do it full time or make enough money so I didn't do those. Then I wanted to do it full time. And then it was just basically I wanted to be able to make sure that I'm doing this for the next 5 or 10 years. So I said my first goal is to get to 3 years, which I did. Then I said now to 5 years. So I'm in it, and I said, well, now let me get to 5 years full time. So I've been doing it 3 years full time. I'm in my fourth year full time. So my goal is to get to 5 years full time, which would be about 7 to 8 years part time, all together. So that's just basic goals. So then it's like, what's my daily goal? Minimum $300 a day, ideally $500. And it all depends on where you're at. One of my intermediate goal is 18 to 22 closings a week. So far, I've been hitting that. Yeah, because if I do 18 to 22, that gives me, 4 weeks, that gives me at least 80. Plus, if I hit 20 a week, in the 70s, if I hit 18 a week. So those are just small goals that I have, and I'm trying to, and then I'm just slowly increasing on them. One of my other goals is to move more into commercial real estate, do more commercial real estate closings. Um, excuse me. A lot of people ask me about signing company. I'm not even thinking about a signing company. I'm not even thinking about that because everybody wants to do a signing company. And I don't think that I will be right now. I can't see myself being successful at it because I will be more for the notaries than against them. I will be more about making sure the notaries are treated right, more concerned about, okay, do you really need this whole document scanned? Because what do you really need for funding? Because if I help note, if you got notaries and they're going to do things correctly, but they got 4 and 5 closings, because see, it gets hard when you're doing 4 and 5 closings in a day. It's like, and that's why it's hard to scan at somebody's table when I could go over here, connect to the Wi-Fi at the Starbucks, use the VPN at the Panera, use the VPN for more secure, get it scanned, boom, and I'm off. You see what I'm saying? And then I'm off and I'm gone instead of being here, running into problems, all of that. That's my wife there. You see what I'm saying? So that's so that's my goal. So I will be more concerned, like, okay, so how about they just scan what's the critical documents they need for funding? Okay, let them get this scanned, boom, and then they get that shipped off. You see what I'm saying? I think that can happen. Um, I would want something where if I'm running a signing company that if notaries, if the error rate is at a certain point, then we need to pay the notaries a little bit higher. Okay. Or better yet, let's do a tier system. New notary, if you got, this lower this amount, okay, let's pay you at this dollar amount. You do good, we'll bring it up higher. You keep doing good, okay, this is the max. And it's no different than, I mean, I know you're, not a W-2, but that's what they do in some organizations. Some contractors say, okay, in other words, like the government does with the military, with the military contracts that say we'll give you we have a 5-year contract. The first 2 years are guaranteed. The last 3 are optional. So you're going to work with us, okay? So your first 10 signings, you're going to get paid at $75 a pop. If you come in, do what you need to do it right and everything, then we'll bump you up to 85. You do good there for the next couple of them, we'll bump you up to 100. Okay, so our max fee is 100, but we're going to bring you into this slowly so we can make sure that you for real, and not just getting a couple of $100 and then bounce out and never do anything right. So I don't see a problem with that, to be honest. And then once you hit a a certain level, okay, you're at that here. Now, if you start messing up, we're gonna drop you down. So if you want to stay at the $100 level, then you boom, boom, boom. Okay. And then that gives the signing company to say, okay, look, we got our notaries doing right. We got an error rate of less than 3%. How about this? Can we just have them scan the critical document? And the reason why I know that can be done because one of the companies I want to say Armor Settlement, I believe it's Armor Settlement that's on signing order. Haven't gotten anything from them in a while. That's what they was doing. They was like, hey, just scan these 3 documents, the deed, the note, the closing disclosure, we good. I was like, okay, from my phone, upload it, and then I can move on to my next stuff. But when you have 222 pages, I don't have a problem doing the closing with 200. It becomes when you got to scan all of that. It becomes when you have um, a HELOC and 45 pages of it is the survey, pictures of the person's house. Why do I need to scan that back? I scan it back, but the question becomes if you're trying to be more efficient and getting stuff done, why do why do I need to get why do I need pictures? Heck, in the set that I'm sending back, you can add the pictures to it. You see what I'm saying? I'm sending you the originals so you can add the survey pictures to it. Okay, I can print out the whole thing with the survey pictures, give to them, but then what I get signed should they got a copy. They don't need the survey pictures. And especially if you don't need them to initial them or anything like that, because now they say, yeah, initial them, so you have to. Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, let's be more efficient. So my mind is thinking about how can we be efficient so we can get more done and reduce errors and stress and all of that on the notary. That's why I'm saying I don't know if that would be going against what other signing companies will be are doing because the person will tell me what the other signing companies do and so it's like I don't see how I can honestly be successful with that. Maybe somebody take what I just said and they can do it, and because they've been doing it a lot longer than me, way longer. But I think that could work. a tier system. You come in at 75. Okay, you don't have anything, so I'm gonna give you a shot. Do 75, and it's no different than when you at a W-2. People are like, okay, I start at 75 and then work my way up. But in the notary world, no, I can't work my way up. Well, I asked myself, why can't we work our way up? Well, when you spent $4,000 to get into business, you ain't too you ain't too patient on working your way up. But if you didn't spend that much money to get into your W-2, except you just had to apply for a job and show up in your brother's suit or your sister's business outfit that you didn't have to pay for, your entry, your cost for entry into that job is much lower than it was for the notary business. W-2 entry fee, notary business entry fee. So therefore, you're going to want to get more money back quickly to recoup that money. If you only pay barely $100 to get an interview and to go on the job, and sure, I start off at $25 an hour and then work my way up. The problem is we don't even see anywhere to work our way up to, except, oh, I'm gonna start my own signing company. But then with the signing company, they're not paying. So the signing company, you see what I'm saying? So I just don't, I wouldn't mind doing it, but I have trust issues with people who I can't sit there with, and you can't ensure that they're going to do stuff right. And then the sad part is, no matter how much you pay some people, they still going to sit there and cut corners and do things incorrect. Got this cup from a guy. He said his mom actually painted this scene, and they sell cups with this here on it. Real nice. She did this here, and they painted on there, got her name on there, and all that good stuff. This is the Sandbridge area of Virginia Beach, Sandbridge Beach in Virginia, here in Virginia. So 5-year plan, yes. Break it up into smaller increments. What's your ultimate goal in 5 years? My main goal was just to be still doing this business in 5 years. I've hit that. But I had smaller increments of goals in between. Now, here's the thing about the goals. Once you set the goal, everything that you have coming into your ear gates and your eye gates got to help you toward that goal. So if the information that people are telling you is pulling you away from the goal, hmm, you see what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Terry, the Notary Public? Good to see you. Good to see you there. The question is, because some of the stuff out here is just another way to get you to spend money on a course with them, but it doesn't really help you towards your goal. And in order to get to your goal, you do not necessarily have to spend money on courses with people. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can hit your goals without spending a dime with these other folk and just go out here and do it. It says, I think a compliant complaint will be filed with the FTC. Um, yeah, 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 that could be it. That could be it. Because here's the thing, going back to the topic about who's enforcing notary laws. Think about it. If I'm trying to do what my notary law says, and a person tells me I'm not going to work with you because you won't do it the way the other notaries do it, which we have proof that what they're doing is incorrect, then what you're doing is restricting me from having an opportunity to do commerce. You're stopping me from being able um, to make money. You're stopping me from being able to do what my state commissioned me to do, which was to deter fraud. Remember, that's what it says the notaries are supposed to do. Let me let me go back to that real quick. So remember what it said. It said purpose of a notary, deterrence of fraud. So I'm here to deter fraud, and you're telling me because I'm implementing or I'm doing what is necessary to prevent fraud, because I won't violate that, we're not going to use you anymore. Now you're interfering with, now you're putting my state at risk of something, um, of some type of court liability, some type of legal liability, not court liability, legal liability, because the notary that was used didn't follow the law. And had that notary done it, boom, because this person is claiming to be Jane Williams and Jane Jones, and I don't have proper ID to verify that for both of them. I don't have a credible witness that we can call to the stand and say, you said you know them as such and such. Was that true when you talked to the notary? No, I lied. They told me that. Oh, okay, because we can't detect whether that something's a lie or not. Maybe AI could, but we can't do that. But we have to take that person's word. We got the ID. We got them written down. All of that. This is the person who said they know Jane Williams as Jane Jones. They know her as that. Okay, cool. We good. I'm gonna take the credible witness, and you're coming across credible. So boom, we get pulled into court. Bam, we got to be able to deal with that. So this, and see, people, the problem is this. Here's what the problem is. People don't think they could get called into court. That's what the problem is. People do not think that that can happen to them. So because they don't feel as though that can happen to them, well, guess what? They're going to keep going and going and going. Hold on, let me do something here. So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? We have to be mindful of that, you know. So yeah, to me, are you stopping me from making money because you're upset that I'm trying to do it correctly? So therefore you don't want to use me anymore. And you're willing to put your business and everybody else at risk of liability because you just want to get this deal done. And that was the other thing I want to talk about. I get real concerned when I hear people telling me, well, you know, it's our job to get the deal done. Is that really my job to get the deal done? If I'm supposed to be impartial, I'm neutral, I have no dog in the fight, and now you're telling me I'm here to get the deal done, that's almost acting like, you know, I'm a part of it. I'm an aspect of it because keep in mind, let's keep this in mind, people. It's May the 17th. Let's say you get asked for to you, which can happen. You can say somebody sends you a notification and they say, okay, we're going to have you do a closing on June the 5th. Okay, so that's a Wednesday. So that's actually 2.5 weeks from now. Okay, a little more than about 2.5 weeks. So 2.5 weeks from now, June the 5th, we're going to have you do a closing for John and Jane Smith. Okay, the deal got started in late February, then March, then through April. They had a setback. They got it and it got delayed. Supposed to close in May, but it got delayed. And now you get assigned to it on the 17th, and they say we'll have everything straight and you can close on June the 5th. Here's the issue. From the time that closing started till the time you meet with them, you knew the time you got and notified of that on the 17th, you knew nothing about that deal. So how can I ensure that the deal get done? How can I be responsible for making sure this deal gets closed when I knew nothing about it? How is it that it's all of a sudden my responsibility to ensure the deal gets done? My responsibility is to ensure that I verify ID, that I watch them sign. But when it comes to other aspects, to make sure that they do it because they don't understand something in the documents or explain something or whatever, all this other stuff, wait a minute. That's outside of my scope because I'm really here on behalf of my state that wants me to ensure that that person is who they say they are and that they're doing it of their own free will. They're not being coerced into doing it and they understand. And see, when you hear the phrase that they understand, people think, oh, it's my job to make. No, my job is to ask them, do you understand? It's not my job to ensure or to educate them in the understanding of those documents. That's where we get it wrong at. I ensure that they know, sir, do you understand what you're reading? Are you in agreement with it? Yes, I am. Or no, I'm not. What's the issue? What don't you understand? Okay, well, let's get somebody on the phone who can help you. Because the question becomes, if I'm brand new at this, I get my first notification on the 17th of May, and then I get for the 5th, and I have no other closings in between then. So that means the 5th is the first time I'm doing this. And on top of that, the closings at 5, I don't get the documents till 3:30. And I got a 35-minute drive there. So I'm under the gun. I haven't even had a chance to really look the documents over. I had to print and go. And now you want me as a brand new notary to be able to say, I understand this to the level that I can make sure that that person is comfortable with signing it, with me seeing these documents for the very first time today. So now the question becomes, who, who in the world is training notaries so that they can know what to do on the fly like that with these documents? I ain't talking about running through the laundry list of the closing disclosure line by line by line. But when people start asking some deeper questions, I don't know that. Why is this and this, that, and the other? I mean, I've had people get mad and ask me, well, why do we got to sign 3 copies of the right to cancel? Because they want to. Well, I don't understand that. I mean, I don't think I need to be signing all 3 copies. You need me to get somebody on the phone to explain that to you? Well, no, 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 no. I'm just saying, I just don't, it just doesn't make sense. We only had to sign 1 copy of everything else. Well, sir, if you have a concern, then let us get somebody on the phone for you. Well, I was hoping you would tell me. And I told one person this, I said, I've asked and nobody was ever giving me a solid answer as to why. Because sometimes you either have 3 copies or you have two. You'll have 3 copies for each of you to sign, or 2 copies for each of you to sign, 3 copies for both of you to sign together, or 2 copies for both of you to sign together. Therefore, I have no idea why they have it that way. If you really need to know, let's get somebody on the phone so you can get the proper answer. To this date, 5 years in, 6 years in now, nobody has ever taken me up on that. So it must not be that important to you. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing, So that's how I look at this. And it can be stressful, it can be hard sometimes to navigate this business because you got people asking you to do stuff that in your gut you're like, I don't know if that's right. And then you go and find out, no, that wasn't right. But if you don't do it, you don't get paid. And it's like, so I'm not getting paid for following the laws, but I get paid if I break them. And that's why I keep saying, when somebody with a bigger stick comes by, when enough pressure gets applied, when somebody squeezes you enough, then you'll be like, I wasn't supposed to ask the notary that. You know what? I thank you for telling me. And that's all I'm saying. Who is going to help us to enforce the notary laws? That's the question. Because from my understanding in the conversations that I've had with gentlemen such as Joseph, for ladies like Dorinda, who else I've talked to, Claude, Matherin, Hugh, Caprentice, these folk, and I'm saying that these are people who I've talked to. Okay, if I miss you, my bad. My bad if I forgot that I spoke to you. They want to do things right, and they have the ability to get this thing done right, but they don't want to put themselves in a situation where they're lying and they got to sit here and possibly be on the court. Yeah, I did check the IDs when they really did. They don't want to. They don't want to do that. And look, I'm gonna leave it at this. At the end of the day, and really at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, we're here on behalf of the state. Period. We're here on behalf of the state. The one thing that I don't think any of us want to have is for the state to get involved to the point where they start telling these companies, you need a notary, you come through us. You come through us to get a notary and you sign off that you understand our state laws and that you're going to ensure that these notaries do not violate them. You show us that you understand the state law before you can even operate in our state as a signing company or as a title company or as a lender. Because if the purpose of the notary is to prevent fraud and you're asking them to do stuff that doesn't help prevent fraud, that leaves gaps in there, whoo, I don't know if that, how is that good for anybody? Hmm? That is not good for anybody. And I ain't gonna do good in jail. I'm not. I'm not gonna do good in jail. I ain't gonna do good in solitary. I'm gonna be fighting every day. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. He's my man said, absolutely. I made that crystal clear before I pulled the first document out on the sign. Yeah, that's the thing. The most hurtful part of this business for me is that I'm working with people who believe that we should violate our state law, and they play ignorant to the fact that, like, oh, I didn't realize. If you was a notary to any degree, you should know that there's certain things notaries can and can't do. And this thing of, well, they said they want you to do it, so you got to do it. That's bull. Well, that's what they do in their state, but I'm not in their state. Well, you still got to do it. That's bull. I'm sorry. Because the question becomes, will that hold up in a court of law? And the answer is no, it's not. And I guess the question becomes now, what is so wrong with doing it the right way? Why is it so wrong and why is it so hard to just do it the right way? What is wrong with doing it the correct way? There's a certain way we should be doing things. What How does it interfere or hinder the process of getting this closing done or whatever? Not just closing, but any notary thing done if we do it the right way. You see what I'm saying? I mean, our state, Virginia, has a caveat in there that if a person's in a nursing home and their ideas been expired for no more than 5 years, 5 years or less, when we meet them, we can still use it. So they're in a nursing home, they couldn't get out to get a new ID. Okay, cool. So some of them, there's actual workarounds to help us, but we got to stay within compliance. That's the important thing here. I want y'all to understand tonight. I know that there's signing companies and title companies that listen to what I say sometimes on here. And I know some people will take it as, oh, he's trying to stir up some mess. I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm supposed to be doing this in accordance with a certain set of standards, who's there to help me when everybody who's paying me is telling me I'm wrong and I got proof that I'm right. And you don't want to believe me and you don't want to look at the evidence. That's a problem to me. That's a problem. So now you're not going to use me and you're going to get another notary who will violate state law so the deal can get done. But that's what it's all about for some people. We just got to get this deal done. And I'm not saying that we're going to stamp it out, but again, our job as notaries is what? To deter fraud. That's it. So, if anything, if all of us notaries stood firm on following state law, I think that'll make it better for the average consumer, especially since the real estate market is 17% or more of the gross domestic product and how much it affects. When a person can't buy their house, that means IKEA, you can't make that delivery. That affects a lot. That affects a lot. When people can't move into homes, where's your plumber? Where's your refrigerator repair people? Where's your window? You need that even your daggone door to door salesman can't even work because there's nobody inside the house for them to knock on. 7,600, 76 houses in the development because the notaries jacked it up. Everybody got to move out. Can't You see what I'm saying? It goes deep, y'all. It goes deep. Maybe not Maybe you don't want to believe that, but it does. So, is there any other questions, comments, concerns, thoughts that you have concerning this business? I would love to hear it from you. I would love to hear it from you. I would love to hear from you. Did my first last minute signing today, got order, ran home, print box arrived just in time. And as a side note, if you feel that if you're getting a last minute closing and you know you're going to be late because that's just the way it's going to flow, just reach out to the people and just let them know, hey, I'm on my way. That's all you got to do. I'm on my way. Just let them know I'm on my way. Yep, I'm running a little late. I just got your documents, this, that, and the other. And I told y'all the trick is this: print the documents. The documents are going to be warm. Stick them immediately in your bag. Zip that bag up, and the bag is going to insulate them and keep them somewhat warm, depending on how far you got to drive. So when you get to them, you hand them. They're like, "Wow, man, these are fresh off the press." I hand it to them. Say, "Here you go, sir. Here's your copy." And they're like, "Whoa, I told you, I just got the documents, just printed, and I ran over here. Man, they still warm." I'm telling you, that's a good icebreaker. I did that by accident one time, and I saw the tone of the person change. They're like, "Oh," because they might have thought that I was just lying about just getting the document. I'm like, "Here you are. The documents are fresh off the press." They're like, "Man, you weren't joking. You just got it." I'm like, "I'm telling you, I just got them, and I didn't even have a chance to look at them, sir. So hopefully there's no surprises." Flew over here to get y'all taken care of, and after that, that's what I do. If I see I'm gonna be running late, got a last minute, I go ahead on and I print the documents, throw them in the bag, zip it up, make sure they stay nice and warm, and that becomes a little icebreaker when you get there. So I'm glad, Claude, you was able to get out there and do your thing. Closing. Hold on, somebody just sent me something. Ah, thanks, Caprinas. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. 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 I'm gonna have to look into that. Okay. So yeah, so last minute signings can be done. You just gotta have your logistics together for that. And it takes some time. But once you get one, you saw like, okay, and you learn real quick what you need to improve, what you need to fix, tweak, and then you just keep going. Because right now it's about making money, keeping the orders going. For the first 15 days of the month, I did 39 closings. For the next from the 16th through now, I think I got 10 that I'm doing. I did 6 yesterday. I did I did 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11. So from the 16th through the 8th, so in 3 days, I got 11 under the belt. For the week, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, no, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I told you my goal 20, 18 to 22, 21. I did. I've got so far, I got two tomorrow, 9 and 11. Knock those bad boys out. So that's the way it is. Dying on updating my mileage. That's good. Yeah, great job, man. I'm telling you, that is a good one. Good one. Yeah, Jess is the thing. This young lady's doing good. So, any questions, any concerns? I'm telling you. Any questions, any concerns, any thoughts, any ideas? And again, I hope I answered your question about the 5 year plan. Yeah, 5 year plan, work it day by day. 3 year plan, work it day by day. 6 month plan, work it day by day. you do a little bit each and every day toward that goal to get 1% better, a little bit better. And that's why I'm so adamant on being careful about what you watch. I'm telling you, these YouTubers out here who are just fussing about who's paying low, how much you got to print, how much you got to drive, all of that. Okay, how is that helping you to move forward in your business? Well, don't take no orders that is below this dollar amount. Okay, I won't. Don't take no orders that you got to drive this far. Don't take no orders because you got to print this much. Don't take no orders because of whatever. Okay, I won't do that. Now where I'm gonna make the money from? That's the question. I follow your logic and I'm not making any money. Said I had an order that the signer did not confirm the date and time. Signing company to go without confirming the signer did not sign. And there's nothing wrong with that. That will happen. If there's some signing companies will tell you straight up, yeah, yeah, and they only pay you for printing. And see, my thing is this. I don't think that's right. Again, that's why I can't be a signing company owner because I'm like, if the notary went, if you want the notary to go, and see, the question is, who wants the notary to go? Is it the title or is it the signing company? To me, if you go and that person neglects to show up, the notary should be fully compensated. Period. To me, and then you tell the customer and say, "Hey, look, here's the fee for the notary. If they don't show up, you're still responsible for paying them for the notary fee fully." Now, of course, you can throw a caveat in there if there's a verified, valid, reason like family sickness, death, something like that. They get put in lockup. Okay, got it. But there's, oop, I forgot, and I've had that. I think the notary should be compensated fully. You know, I really do. And there are some companies that will do that. It's not that many, but there are some that will do that. Except at a $20, 30-minute drive. Yeah, if you can do it, if it fits in your budget, you ain't got nothing else and it's helping, do it. And then for my man to ask about the 5-year plan, the number one thing is make your monthly goal of how much money you're trying to make. That's what drives me. My monthly goal. How much I'm trying to make financially, and then how many orders I'm trying to do each week to help me toward that goal. So yeah, you can have the 5-year plan, but you got to have a daily plan. Okay, I want to make this dollar amount. I want to make that. The $20 orders, it's $20 less I got to worry about trying to make. It'll be great if you can do if you want to make $400 and you do two $200 orders, or you do four $100 orders, but it don't always happen that way. So you just try to make the money, and that's what it is. And I'm just trying to make X amount of dollars every day, whether it's coming through notary or the house inspections. I'm just trying to make a particular dollar amount. I'm not trying to have bragging rights about where my money came from. I'm just trying to have the money to take care of my family. I'm not worried about hopping on social media and bragging. I'm not worried about somebody calling me up on stage or calling me on their YouTube channel to make me look like I'm crying. I was so poor and just destitute, and I was just towed down, and I found a notary stamp in the garbage can, and now I'm making $10,000 a month. All thanks to you, sir or ma'am, a group or whoever. I don't want that kind of. No. And see, there's notaries who I help, and they're doing great, but I would never have them come up here and give you some kind of sob story, real or fake. There ain't no need for that. Just get out here and do the work. Question is, where are they now? Are they still making all of that money? Where are they now? Now that the market has changed and turned, because we know there's a lot of notaries out here who have straight up quit the business. They quit, and they the high money makers. The high money makers are the ones who have bailed out of this business. The little uppity notaries are the ones doing all these YouTube videos complaining. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You complaining about every little aspect of the business, but how is that helping the average notary move forward to take up your complaint, to take up your gripe? Are you even doing the work? Oh, you probably can't because you got stuff going on in your life that prohibits you. So you can't even do the business, but you're gonna complain about what you can't do, but you're not in a position to do it. And then you want everybody else to take that same complaint when they're not necessarily in your same situation. You see what I'm saying? So, mm, and I share with people what I do, but I tell y'all, do what works best for you. Like I said, I'm not going to scan at the table. I have to have a real good reason for me to scan a residential closing at the table. I got to have a real good reason. And there have been times where I want to do it. It would be nice if I could, but when I get in the house, I need to get up out of here. I need to get in, get out. It is not a good environment. This, that, the other. They got husband and wife arguing with each other. You know what? Deuces, I'm out. See that kind of, and see the thing is, I know some people don't face that and don't have those scenarios, but I do. So I got to work. I got to work it accordingly. If you got a situation where the husband and wife fussing, or they got dogs over the place and you don't like dogs, and the dog keep walking and pulling the plug out your scanner, see, all of those are things you take into account. Cats hopping on the table, wanting to sit on the papers and play with you. Okay, cat, you got to move. All of that kind of stuff you got to take into account. So I don't know what else to say. Sometimes it's right now. It's about execution. It's just about you getting out here and doing it. When you're going to do it, I don't know. But it's time for you to just go ahead on and do this thing. Stop playing around. Stop making excuses. How many more pieces of training you need to take before you can go out here and do this business? I don't know what else you need. I don't know. But when the opportunity comes, you either gonna do it or you're not. It's that simple. And as you can see, many people are doing it and they're making the money to take care of their family. Maybe you don't need the money like I need the money, like they need the money. Maybe you just want to sit around for the $200 signing. Cool. How does that working for you? In the famous words of Dr. Phil. But I'm out here doing what I got to do to take care of my family. And that's what's the most important thing. So I'm I'm good now. I'm good to go, y'all. Let me bounce off of here so I can go in and print my documents for my two closes tomorrow, getting them prepped and everything. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.